Good morning, children. I hope you have seen the previous video of franchise and representation, children. And I hope you all are being cleared with the duty of elected representative, children, right? And you know demerits and merits of functional representation. Here I'm again continuing with the duties of elected representatives, children, and afterwards many more topics, right? So let's start now. Now, children, duties of an elected representatives, right? So we have the previous duties I have already explained you in the previous video, children. So here I'm going to explain you more duties, children. To refrain from using corrupt means and malpractices and to set an example of dedicated, devoted, and honest behaviors. This is the duty, children. To secure a balance between the national and local interests, to take the demands of the people to the government for getting these converted into laws and policies, to promote friendship, cooperation, goodwill, and sense of brotherhood among the people in general and residents of his constituency in particular, to participate actively in the lawmaking and deliberative function of the legislature, to uphold the confidence reposed in him by the people, to act as a trustee of the power of the people to rule, to refrain from political corruption and defection. So let's see now the next topic, children. What is voting now? Let's see what is voting, children. Now, when the people or electorate of voters exercises their right to vote, the process is called voting. Every democratic state maintain a list, register of voter, that means electoral roll. These lists are periodically revised by adding the new eligible voter and by striking out the names of voters who are no longer alive or who have left the concerned constituency. Whenever elections are to be held, a poor calendar is prepared in advance. The government or the election department or the election commission fixes the period during which the nomination paper of the contesting candidate are to be filed, the dates during which scrutiny of nomination paper is to be done, the date by which any candidate can withdraw his nomination paper, which means withdrawal from the contest. The election campaign period, the date and time of polling, and the date for counting of voters and declaration of results prior to the holding of actual polling of voter, elaborate arrangements, establishment of polling station, appointment of polling staff, assignment of security staff, and other such arrangement are completed. All these goes by the name voting, and the exercise is held under the supervision, direction, and control of a statutory body like the Election Commission of India. In simple word, voting means the actual exercise of right to vote by the voters on an appointed day and time. Voting is one of the core processes of the election system. Voting is done by the voters for determining as to which party shall make law and exercises political power for the coming few years. That means 5 years or 4 years. Voting is the means for expressing the will of the people as well as their support or opposition to the policy and program of political parties. Now let's see, now we have four types of voting, children. Now let's see types of voting. Single vote system, plural vote system, open voting, secret voting. Now what is single vote? In this system, each voter has one vote. No one can exercise more than one vote. This is a very popular system. It is based upon the principle of equality. Next, plural vote system. In this system, while each eligible voter can exercise one vote, some voter who have some special qualification can cast two or more vote. When one voter has the right to cast two or more vote, the system is called plural vote system. For example, in India, each voter has one vote, but in the election for the upper house of a state legislative council, children always remember Vidhan Parishad, teachers, graduates, and member of a local government institution have been given additional voting. On the whole, however, Indian constitution provides for a single vote system and not plural vote system. The latter is regarded as undemocratic and hence is used only for certain special elections. Next, open voting. When the voters are called upon to vote openly without any secrecy, the system is called open voting system. It is, however, not considered useful because it can put fresh pressure on the voters and enable some candidate to unduly influence voters' choice. Next, we have secret voting. It is also known as secret ballot. In the system, the voter votes in secrecy. No one knows as to for whom a voter has voted. Secrecy voting is ensured in every democratic system. It is considered an ideal system. Now the best example, children, if you see the now we have another system of deciding the winner in election. Now children, here we have already understood, we have already got the four types of voting system, children. Now here I'm going to explain you about the system of deciding the winner in an election. This is called a simple majority vote victory system. Whosoever has won the majority of votes shall be declared the winner, children. So let's see what is this, children. To the question as to who is considered to be a winner in an election, the most commonly followed principle is relatively majority vote victory system or simple majority vote victory system. Under it, a candidate who poll more vote for than every other candidate contesting the election from the constituency is declared to be the winner. Right? Now, next, the system is also called the first past the post system. Just as in a horse race, that horse wins the race who crosses the line ahead of other horses. Likewise, under the simple majority vote victory system, that candidate wins who get more votes than every other candidate. Now, the first past the post system is also called relatively majority vote system. Under this system, in election, the candidate who secure more vote than every other fellow contestant in a constituency is declared elected as a representative to the legislature. In the counting of vote, only valid votes are taken into consideration. Invalid votes are rejected. The counting is done by the returning officer and his staff in the presence of all candidates or their nominees. In other words, we can say that victory in an election is determined on the basis of the principle of relative majority of vote, or the first past the post principle. The system has been in operation in a large number of democratic countries, which include India, UK, USA, and several others. Right. Now let's see now, children, major defects in first past the post victory system. Children, what are the major defects now? Smaller parties do not get a fair number of seats and representation, the first demerit. Children, next, when electoral results are out in an election, it is often found that there came to be a big gap between the percentage of votes polled by various party and the seats secured by them in the legislature. Third, children, in all multi-cornered election contests in various constituency, a large number of votes are not really productive because these are polled by all defeated candidate. The winner is one among several defeated candidates. The winner is in a position to win not because he got a real majority, but because he got more votes than every other candidate taken individually. The percentage of votes secured by the winning candidate is very often quite less than the percentage of votes polled by all defeated candidates together. Right, children? Now we have demerits now, right? So we have done the demerits, children. Now let's come to the merits now. It is a very simple system. It is fully democratic in nature, as any candidate can win by getting more votes than any other contesting candidate. Under this system, every party gain in some constituency and also suffer in some other constituency. In this way, the system does not prove to be very defective in practice. Because of its very simple nature, it can be easily operationalized and the people can easily understand its working. Right? I hope so, children, you people have understood. Now we have another method of election, children. It is called a mixed model system. Now what is this, children? This model has not been adopted yet, children, but still has been a debate going on this model. So let's see what does this model talks about, children. Right? So we have, now let us examine this question. Can the existing simple majority vote system be suitable combined with list system? A possible mixed system can be as follows. In every general election for electing a legislature of say 500 member, one half of member of the legislature can be elected by simple majority of vote cast by the voters in each single member constituency. The other half of the member can be elected on the basis of the percentage of total popular votes secured by each party. Each party can release in advance a list of all its prospective candidates. In this way, the outcome in distribution of seats can be fairly in proportion to the popular votes secured by each political party. In order to check the possibility of a rigidly divided legislature due to the presence of a large number of political parties which can get some seats in the legislature, it can be laid down that only those parties will obtain seats from this distribution who had polled at least 5% of the valid vote cast in the entire country, or whose candidates had won majorities in at least 3-member constituency. The inclusion clause can eliminate or reduce the chances of corruption of legislature and a mad rush for organizing more and more political parties. So I hope so you people have understood what is a mixed model system, children. Again I repeat, if you see, children, like in every general election for electing a legislature of say 500 member, one half of the member of legislatures can be elected by a simple majority of the vote cast by the voters in each single member constituency, and the other half of the members can be elected on the basis of the percentage of total popular vote secured by each party. Each party can release in advance a list of all prospective candidates. In this way, the outcome and distribution of seats can be fairly in proportion to the popular votes secured by each political party. So I hope the children, you people have understood, right? Okay, what is it all about? We are just reading and understanding about the election system, where we came across different words like voting, like representation, right children, like universal adult franchise, and many more such things. Because as this chapter is quite lengthy, children, we have more topics to cover. Though I'll be conducting the Google Meets as well, right? I'll be conducting the virtual class as well, children, where you can solve all your doubts regarding the previous videos, the previous assignments as well. So do pay attention to the videos carefully, children. Any doubts you can ask either in the virtual class, right, or in the portal, children, right? So just pay attention and you will get everything. So till then, thank you.